I used to think family was a shield, the kind that took the blows for you, the kind that wrapped you up when the world spit you out. But that illusion shattered one rainy evening in a cracked gravel driveway, where truth gleamed in the form of a car I didn't buy, a car that screamed betrayal louder than any words could. My name is Derrick Hale, and if you've ever carried the weight of family on your back only to find out they were the ones cutting into your spine, then this story might sound too familiar. Before we dive in, if you've ever felt that sting, hit subscribe and drop your city in the comments. I want to know where you're watching from. That night, I had just come off a 16-hour shift at the bank, auditing loan applications until my eyes blurred and my hands shook from caffeine. My phone buzzed with another low balance alert, the kind I had dismissed for months as some glitch in the system. But when I turned into my parents' driveway, I saw the truth waiting for me. A cherry red Mustang glistening under the drizzle, its head catching the glow of the porch light. And leaning against it like he'd won the lottery was my younger brother, Ethan. "Check this beast out, Derrick," he shouted, spinning around the car, his boots spotless, his grin sharp. Dealer practically gave it to me. I stepped out of my rusted Civic, my legs heavy, my throat dry. "Where'd you get the money for this, Ethan?" He flicked his sandy hair, the same shade as Mom's, and smirked. "Chill. Mom and Dad sorted it. Family's got my back." That phrase, "family's got my back," hit like acid. On the porch, Mom and Dad stood side by side, chipped mugs in hand, smiling too tight. Mom's gaze sliced through me, her eyes daring me to stay silent. "Sorted it how?" I asked, my voice already trembling with dread. Mom stepped forward, rosewater perfume clinging to the damp air. "We tapped the fund, sweetheart," she said softly, as if gentleness could cushion the blow. Ethan needed something stable, something to ground him. The fund. Not a family emergency pot. Not a rainy day stash. My fund. The $65,000 I'd built from scratch. Skipped beers, endless overtime, vacations traded for double shifts, dreams delayed. I'd been building toward a condo in Capitol Hill, with tall windows and polished concrete floors. My first real home. And now, it had been melted down into the metal and rubber of Ethan's Mustang. "You took my money." The words crawled out of my throat like fire. Ethan laughed, leaning against the car like a king. "Don't be dramatic. You'll stack it again. You're a machine. I'm just starting out, you know how it is." My hands shook as I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. Balance, $7,643. My future, reduced to scraps. I thrust the screen at him. "You didn't even ask." Dad shifted his old mariner's cap, coughed. "Now, son, Ethan's got gigs lined up. He's got to look the part." Gigs. The word curdled in my gut. Ethan, who quit his delivery job because mornings were too early. Ethan, who bailed on music school because guitar lessons were too intense. I'd carried him for years, through every half-baked dream, every crash and burn. "Roy, please," Mom said, her arm sliding around Ethan as he fake sniffled into her sweater. "He's had it rough. You've always been the strong one. The strong one. The one who at 16 learned to juggle bills Dad overdraft. The one who pulled triple shifts so Ethan could chase music that never stuck. The one who kept this sinking ship afloat, while everyone else drilled holes in the hull." "You're right," I said, my voice cold as the rain. I dialed the credit union. "Derrick." Dad barked. "What are you doing?" "Hello." I said into the receiver, dodging Mom's grab. "This is Derrick Hale. Close account 39174. All linked accounts too." "You can't." Mom cried. "I can't," I snapped. And I just did. "Enjoy the Mustang, Ethan. Hope it's worth it." Ethan sneered, his voice venom. "You're just jealous, Derrick. Jealous Mom and Dad actually care about me. Jealous I'm living while you're boring yourself to death." I climbed into my Civic, steady for the first time in years. "Lies don't last, Ethan," I said through the window. "And neither will that car when the repo guys show up." I drove 2 blocks before pulling over, hands gripping the wheel. My phone buzzed. Tessa, my best friend, the one who had begged me for years to cut them loose. "You okay?" she asked when I answered. "I did it," I said. "Something huge." "Finally," she breathed. "Get to Anchor Bar. We'll sort it out." That night, under flickering neon, Tessa opened her laptop, pulled up my accounts. "They've been draining you," she said, scrolling. "Look, little withdrawals for years. $120 here, $90 there. Adds up to 15 grand. I felt sick. How did I miss this? You were 19 when you opened that joint account with your mom, she said firmly. They taught you to trust them. That's not your fault. My phone buzzed again, Mom. You're destroying us. Dad's panicking. Fix this. Tessa snorted. They've got guts. She pointed at a charge. 30 grand to a sneaker shop. Ethan's garbage brand. I laughed bitterly, downing my bourbon. I thought I was saving them. Turns out I was their ATM. Another buzz. Cards frozen. Loans defaulting. Ethan's car in danger. Please, Derrick. Tessa glared. They're still pulling you in. Don't answer. But I did. Speaker on. Derrick. Mom's voice splintered. What have you done? The credit union's cutting us off. Exactly what I told you. I said, my voice like steel. I closed everything. You're done bleeding me. But we're family, she pleaded. Ethan will lose his car. We'll lose the house. What about my dream? I snapped. The condo I saved for since college? You let Ethan torch it for a Mustang. We'll pay you back, she hissed. Will you? I asked coldly. Because last I checked, I'm tied to 9 maxed out cards I've been covering for years. Silence. Then, come over. We can work this out. Tessa shook her head. Don't. I need them to see I'm done, I said, standing. When I walked into their living room, the scent of eucalyptus candles couldn't cover the rot. Dad was pacing, snapping into his phone. Ethan sat on the couch, red-eyed, clutching his keys like they were life preservers. The credit union's calling our loans by Thursday, Dad growled. That's my savings you burned, I said flatly. You don't get it, Ethan whined. I'll lose my car. Do you know how that'll look? Almost as bad, I said, as me telling my realtor I lost my down payment. Or realizing my family's been robbing me for years. Mom reached for me, tears streaking. We didn't mean to hurt you. It's been hard since Dad retired early. Which I told him was reckless, I snapped. And I've been cleaning up ever since. You'll save us again, Dad barked. You always do. Exactly, I said, standing tall. That's why I'm done. Mom grabbed my arm. You can't leave us. I pulled free. Parents lift their kids. They don't drain them dry. Tomorrow, the bank will send you notices about your defaults. And Ethan? Park that Mustang. Repo guys don't knock. As I walked out, Mom's silhouette hit the window, already dialing. Probably begging another relative for cash. Tessa waited in her car. You good? Not yet, I said raw. But I will be. 1 month later, I stood in my new condo. Floor-to-ceiling windows streaked with Seattle rain. Concrete counters gleaming. My dream, finally real. My phone buzzed, a news alert. Ethan sentenced to 3 years for fraud. Mom and Dad, 6 years each for financial crimes tied to his schemes. I set the phone down, steady. Their chapter was over. I turned to the camera, voice firm. If this story hit you, if you've ever been drained by the people you love most, hear me. You can say no. You can walk away. You can rise. Hit subscribe, drop your story below, and let's build the next chapter together. Freedom starts with you.